Bekah, you sounded just like a cat. I'm actually freaked out.
Well, it finally got to me. I'm sorry that this podcast is just me meowing. People are like, unsubscribed, 1 star.
Welcome to the Holy Mess Podcast. Hey, I'm Joy.
And I'm Bekah.
If you think you're a mess, you are not alone. We share the things of life through a lens of faith, and we find the hope in all of it.
This is a jam-packed episode. We're going to talk about work boundaries. We're going to talk about bad habits we pass on to our kids. We're going to talk about accepting help. We're going to talk about Serena Williams. How are we going to fit it all in? I can't wait for you to find out. But first, our messy moment of the week.
There's a good indicator if you are not operating at 100% healthy in your mental game. And it's if there's anger boiling just below the surface. You may not even know it's there until Alexa asks you a dumb question. And you say, Alexa, enough. Apparently, I've been doing that.
When you start yelling at the robots, you know that it's bad.
Well, Alexa, I always have her playing Way FM to start my day. That's our radio station. I like to see what the morning show, the Wally Show's talking about. And for some reason, when I tell her to lower the volume or raise the volume, because when they're talking, I want it louder. And then after that, I want it softer. So the music's in the background. And she used to just do it. I'd be like, Alexa, volume up. She'd be like, boop, and there it is. But now, do you even hear it? There's a little aggression in my voice.
You're frustrated with her.
Now, when I say, Alexa, volume up, I don't know if she does it or not. And then she goes, do you want the volume adjusted even more? And just pauses, and you can't hear what's happening on the radio. Yes. And with radio, it's short and timely. You might be missing something. It's why I wanted the volume up. And I don't even know what to say because I don't know if I want the volume up more or less because I can't hear what she's done. And I'll just say, no, I don't know. The first few times I was just thrown off, and now I started going, Alexa, do not ask me follow-up questions after I ask for the volume to be adjusted. And I don't think she understands that. She just goes, thank you for your feedback. Well, I knew that I was getting frustrated with her because my responses have been getting worse with, yes, the robot. But then today, Alexa was playing music or whatever, and my son went by on his little tricycle, and he went, Alexa, enough. And I was like, oh, no. That's how I know that my psychopathness is it's negatively affecting my kid. They pick up on everything. I mean, I hardly just started to notice that I was being aggressive with her. And he was like, this is how we treat robots, with zero respect or dignity. And I know it's not a person, but still, he doesn't.
Okay, I know that this is probably a habit that you need to correct or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a parent. But before you do, could you please get video of him correcting Alexa?
Well, I never know when it's going to happen. And as soon as he did it, I just went, oh. Well, I guess Mommy has some things that she needs to be embarrassed about. Okay, we're going to work on how we talk to Alexa.
My most frustrating thing with Alexa is we have a bedtime routine. So we'll be like, Alexa, good night. And she'll be like, good night, sleep tight, and turn all the lights off.
Oh, that's
and
so nice.
All the stuff, right? We have it set up with our smart home stuff. But we also have a home alarm system that she sets when we say good night.
Awesome.
However, you know the whisper mode on Alexa?
No.
Like, oh, you can go, Alexa, good night. And she'll be like, good night, sleep tight. Would you like to arm your system in home mode? Every time. And I'm like, I whispered at you. Why are you
She's supposed to whisper back.
And then yelling at me every single time. So
I take it personally, which is for sure a me problem. I mean, but I do.
Hey, this might help you. You can say Alexa volume 7. Or Alexa volume 4.
Oh, that's so helpful. I need to pick the volumes I like and say that.
Yeah.
Because she didn't used to do this. It's like one day she woke up and she just didn't understand me anymore. And one day I woke up with cranky pants and we don't mesh well. Maybe, I don't know.
I get it.
I need to change her name to something a little nicer. Like Sophia. I couldn't yell at a Sophia, but I'm like, Alexa. It's not good.
It's good consonants to just be angry at.
It really is.
My messy moment comes from a story from a coworker. There's a few different facets here, so I just want to give the backstory first. We have this guy we work with named Steve. He's awesome. We love him. He has 5 kids. And last week, his second child, who's 12 years old, fell 25 feet from a tree. He's doing well. That's the great news, because usually stories like this do not turn out well. He spent 4 days in the hospital. He's out walking. He was in the office yesterday, Joy.
I was on vacation. I missed it. How did he seem?
He seems great. He has a neck brace, but he's walking around just fine.
Yeah, he's had some surgeries, some broken bones, but like we were all so nervous about it. But Steve keeps saying, considering, we're just thrilled that he's not going to be paralyzed.
Yes, there's some really miraculous things at work. But this whole situation has really taught me a lot about myself and my situation with my husband, who has been chronically ill for 6.5 years now.
Man.
So when Steve's son first fell from the tree, Steve's wife was out of town.
Yeah, of course, doing something wonderful, helping her sister deliver her baby.
Exactly. So that was a stress to begin with. And so Kim is her name, and she got a flight back as soon as she could. And they were going to have someone else pick her up from the airport, but it was going to be very inconvenient, out of the way, everything. So I said, Steve, Joey and I, my husband and I, we got this. Like, we will get her from the airport. He's like, you sure? I think her flight's delayed now. We're like, yes, no problem. And my sweet husband is like, I am so excited to do this. People have always had to do things for me. I can't do much for myself when I'm sick. So we're going to go to the airport and we're going to get her. And he's so excited.
He's looking for a hero cape. He's like, this is my moment.
He's thrilled. Even as the flight gets pushed back, I think she didn't land till 10:30 that night. And it was a weeknight, but we were still all in.
It's wonderful you all did that. Becca and I live close to each other, and we both live not that far from the airport. And I remember both of us saying, one of us will get her. It'll be fine. We're not that far. And then when I found out how late she got in, I was like, I was for sure asleep. Way to go, Becca. Way to go.
Right before we left for the airport, though, Joey gets sick, as he often does. It's pretty much a regular occurrence, a daily occurrence that he
that's so sad.
Gets ill. Yeah. And so I'm like, babe, you don't have to go. It's fine. I'll go get her. He's like, no, I'm doing this. I want to do this.
Oh, my goodness.
We get in the car. We drive up to the airport. We get to the cell phone lot where you wait until they're ready to come out. And he is actively getting ill. He has this bag in the front seat with him.
Oh, my word. I didn't know this.
Joey, we'll figure something else out. He's like, no, I got this. And he steps the bag aside. We go pick her up. We drive her to the hospital. She was really, really moved by the fact that Joey was so into this.
I'd be moved by the fact if someone was literally sick and they were like, I got you.
She didn't know that had just happened. We drop her off at the hospital. We pull forward a little bit and he slams on the brakes and starts getting sick again.
Oh, my word.
But he was still so happy and so excited to do it. And I think, besides just kind of the ridiculousness of it and just the amazing part that he was able to do something for someone else for once in a very similar situation to what we've been in, because I was out of the country when Joey first got sick.
Oh, yeah.
It really taught me a lot about when people offer something for you, they want to do it for you. So many times people in our lives will be like, let us mow the lawn for you. Like, we want to do this. Let us bring you dinner. We want to do this. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't want to be an inconvenience. But being able to be on the other side of it, honestly, for the first time in a long time at this scale, was like, no, we're doing this. We want to do this. This is in our DNA to want to do this.
And it wasn't even convenient for you or for Joey. It was late. He was sick. But it sounds like it gave some purpose and some joy to what it would have been a normal evening at home getting sick.
Absolutely. And I think it just gave me new perspective on the next time someone offers something. I need to say yes, because otherwise I'm potentially depriving them of that same joy that we got out of being able to do something for someone else.
Absolutely. And didn't you say Joey on the car ride was really engaged with Kim?
Yes.
Almost like, I know what it's like to be in the hospital and to have people, worried about you. And
so they had all these conversations. And even after we dropped her off the next morning, our coworker Steve texted and said, thank you again. Kim was especially touched with how sweet Joey was. And it just, again, it was a reminder that we have to start accepting help.
That's hard to do.
It doesn't mean people are doing it because they're hoping you'll say no. Sometimes people are, and I get that.
I think you can tell, though.
But for the most part, there are people in your life that love you and genuinely don't know what else to do but pick you up from the airport, but mow your lawn. And you just have to let them do it and receive the gift, because it's really a gift for them as well.
I think it's especially hard for you guys because it's been 6.5 years of people trying to help. And at some point, I think you imagine they don't want to anymore, but that's not true. I think most people don't know what else to do to help you guys. And so, I'm so glad that Joey got to be a hero for a minute.
He was so cute. He still is on a high about it, and it makes me so
week
happy.
Later.
I know. All right, on to our mental health moment.
We're talking about email addiction today because if you don't have it, you living your life right.
Okay. I need to admit something. As soon as you said email, my brain went, you need to check your email. And I literally looked down at my laptop. I'm like, wait, no.
See?
Bad email. Bad.
The reason I became addicted to checking it is because it's on my phone and it's convenient. I don't even know I'm going to do it. And I had yesterday off. I took a vacation day very intentionally to try to work on making my house ready for another baby and lots of other things I don't have time for.
Which is going to be a boy.
We're not gender.
By the time this episode comes out, you still won't have told me because you're making me wait another 2 weeks.
She's a little stressed about it.
It's fine.
So I read an article about how to minimize your addiction to it, which is so helpful. And I already am trying to do some of these things. So the very first one is when you sit down at your computer starting the day to have a process where you simply work on outbound emails before any inbound. So if there are things that have been sitting there that you've needed to respond to for a while, you flagged them, or you're like, I need to email people about these things. You literally sit there and you only do one thing at a time, as opposed to what we typically do is like, let's read the new, let's respond to what we've missed. And a lot of things send you to other things to work on, or for us, other systems and platforms we operate in. And you can get so distracted and then you're not simply working at it. So one CEO said that's all she does. First, she does outbound, and then she may take a break before she even deals with the new inbound for that day. Or you could reverse it, whichever you want to do. The second is hard. It's no email on the phone. But guess who does this?
Me.
You have no email on your phone?
No, I have email on my phone.
It's like, what?
Sorry.
What a liar.
Who does it?
Okay, Barbara Corcoran.
Oh, one of the sharks.
Yes, from the Sharks. She's so successful. I think she's worth like 61 mil.
Well, she can hire people to have email on their phones for her.
No, a lot of people need her. Like, she's a really big deal. And she said, I actually bought myself a lot of time because now I sit down and I very intentionally answer email only on my computer. There's a specified time for it, and I can give my full attention to it. Half the time at home, I don't even, like I said, I don't think about it. I pull it up, and then suddenly I'm like, oh no. I got to figure out what to do about that. It might upset me. Yeah. It might cause me to worry. It might mean I need to do a follow-up email. And I might be eating cheese and crackers with my child.
But what if I miss something? But what if I miss something?
Well, it's not missed forever. It sits in there. It doesn't get erased if we don't respond in 5 minutes.
What if I get fired because I'm not checking my email at 8 o'clock at night?
People will respect your boundaries, Bekah. And then here is the last one. I've never even thought about this. It's create a non-personal email address for people to reach you at. Something that doesn't have your name attached to it. And they said that there's something about your name being attached to your email. Say it's on a website where people reach you. An author is the one who shared this because he said something about the personalization of his name being in his email. People expected a personalized response. And instead, he wrote something like, I don't know, like author of blah, blah book at something that didn't have his name in it, and literally wrote below the email, I may not respond. Like, this is for me to collect information. And so just setting a precedent really for people of how much you're going to get back, because someone else who was quoted in the article said, when you respond quickly, timely, you check your email on the weekends, at night, early morning, and you do actually respond really fast, that's teaching people how to treat you.
Oh.
It's saying, I will always respond quickly. And they said there's actually a mind game that it plays on the person who gets it, that if they get a response really quickly, then they feel like, well, I need to respond back really quickly, and I need to always respond with expedience when I'm interacting with this person. And it creates this cycle where we're all trying to be connected all the time and feeling like our responses need to be fast. So they said, teach people how to treat you. Someone, I think it may have been Barbara, someone had in their email signature that I only check email every other day. So expect at least 1 to 2 business days before a response.
That's
like,
smart.
just set a precedent for people and say, I'm not able to be reached 24/7, and you're not going to get an answer right away. And I think that's odd in the world today, but I do think people respect it because most of us have a problem.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that one of my favorite things about taking time off is setting my out of office reply. I will set my out of office reply weeks before a vacation.
I don't even know how to do that.
Really? You need to learn it.
I never have.
You need to learn it because it's life-changing. Just that expectation that if someone wants you while you're on vacation, they're going to get an automatic reply that says,
leave me alone.
Oh, no, you don't. But I had never thought about setting those boundaries even during work weeks, that I do not owe 24 hours a day to my company or to people who want to get a hold of me.
Oh, and you know what's crazy now that I think about it? Some people that I email, I get that automatic reply they're on vacation, and then I still get an email back from them. You know, like
I've done that.
Bekah!
I know. I know. Don't scold me, Mom.
Well, you're the one who checked your email as we started this bit, so you probably do need to work on it. But so do I.
Hey, this actually plays perfectly into our mess and bless, because my mess actually has to do with work boundaries and how I don't want to take some. So there is this CEO who she is recommending that you intentionally put typos into your emails to people in the company.
That's very painful for you.
It is very painful. I love my grammar. By the way, when you email me and you're like, hey, sorry for the grammar. I don't care about that. Like, I don't care about your grammar. I care about my grammar. So it's very painful. But she said the reason you do this is having one small typo reveals how unfounded some of our career fears can be. So when you send a typo in an email, even just someone important, you're not going to get fired. You're not going to get scolded. It's not that big of a deal. And once you kind of set that expectation with yourself, it's going to help you get over other professional insecurities and hangups. So, for example, maybe you're afraid to take a risk or to start a new project. If you can kind of train your brain of like, well, it's no big deal if I make a typo in an email. I shouldn't be so afraid of failure that I'm holding myself back from doing these other big things.
My brain, for some reason, just can't get on board with it because...
Well, why do you think it's my mess?
Because you struggle too.
Well,
my brain was like, just because you make a typo and no one calls you on it doesn't mean in their brain they're not going, well, that person's not smart. That's what I think.
Right.
And then I don't know that translates that you can make mistakes. But I do think that the best way for creatives to work, which is the avenue Bekah and I work in, is to have permission to make mistakes. But I wouldn't say that that's present in most companies.
Yeah.
I just think... I mean, who says it's okay if you mess this up?
And that's the thing, is that she is advocating for give yourself permission to make mistakes so that you are going to take on rules. Because I don't know about you, Joy, but there are so many times where I will have an idea, but the fear of failure stops me from moving forward with it.
Oh, that's a very intense struggle that I have. And I don't think I realized how bad it was till this moment.
Man, so we need to set some boundaries with our emails, start making typos. There's too much change. I'm not ready, but those are the recommendations from the experts.
I think if Bekah makes a typo, it's going to give her more anxiety.
Oh, it will. I will be up all night. All night.
My mess is something called meow talk. If you have a cat, there's apparently a way to be able to figure out what they're saying. I think they've tried to create stuff like this for dogs, but let's be honest, no one wants one for dogs because they're continually like, I love you, feed me, pet me, let me play with you. I mean, aggressive. But cats, no one's really gotten into the mind of a cat. So I was looking at their website, watching some videos, and I just thought, there's no way. You know, like you could literally it's a voice box you can attach to your cat. But that's the prototype they're working on. But right now it's an app that you can use. And they used some of the sound effects they got from cats and animals from Alexa to kind of do some research on. Because, your pets are always making noises around them. And they studied that. But I said your cat could go meow, and they could be like, I need to use the litter box. They could make it say anything.
Yeah.
And there's no way to really know.
Yeah.
So as I was watching the video, I was very skeptical. But then at the very end, the guy was holding the cat with the voice box on and wouldn't let it down. And the cat was getting really mad and the meows were getting more aggressive. And the cat was saying via the voice box, I don't want you to pet me. Put me down. I'm all done. And I was like, what? And I was like, I might be in. I don't even like cats. Let me be upfront. I'm allergic.
And I don't think they like us.
I don't think they like us either, so we shouldn't want to know what's going on in their brain. But I come from a cat family. My brothers are obsessed. My family has many cats, even though I'm allergic. Think about that.
Yeah, same. My family did that too.
Yeah, they don't
also
care.
Allergic.
That's why Bekah and I have a lot of health issues these days. But I just think it's really ridiculous that we're that focused on trying to figure out what they're thinking and saying. And honestly, it's ridiculous that it might work.
I'm looking at the app right now. I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to download it. First of all, it has all 5-star reviews.
I think it has something like 17 million users.
insane to me. I was trying
to give
to
your cat a voice. Even the guy on the video who's describing it to people, his face was like, I don't even believe this myself.
And then the cat's like, put me down. And he's like, oh, okay.
It's funny that most of the examples they have are like, leave me alone. Like, that's what most cats are saying. I don't want to know that.
I kind of want to see if I just, I'm trying to see if I can, okay, yeah, here we go. I'm going to try to meow and see if it'll get me. Okay. Ready? Meow. Meow. It's not working. I think it's smart enough to know
it's not giving you anything?
No. Meow. Wait. It's coming. Oh my goodness. An ad? Seriously?
Becca, you sounded just like a cat. I'm actually freaked out.
Well, it finally got to me. I'm sorry that this podcast is just me meowing. People are like, unsubscribed, 1 star. The translation is, hey there.
That's what you were saying, wasn't it?
Apparently. Well, let's try again. Wait, let me get my brain into the mode of a cat. If I'm an angry cat and I want you to put me down,
okay,
I would say, meow. Meow.
It's getting less cat-like the more you...
Meow. Oh, wait, here it comes. What? Try premium to understand your cat better. It wants me to upgrade to figure out if my fake cat is mad at me.
And let's be honest, she's gonna do it. She's that invested.
No, $2.99 a month.
Don't do it,
okay.
Becca.
I'm not gonna do it.
We don't even get paid for this podcast. Don't spend money.
Okay, moving on to our bless of the week. It's been back to school season for a few weeks now. I think all kids are back at this point, but there's one mom's back to school sign that's going viral, and it's not a picture of her kids holding a sign. It's a picture of herself holding a sign. It says, Mom's first day of school. I am 42 years tired today.
Yeah.
I'll probably miss a school theme day. I really like sleep. Please don't ask me to volunteer, but I will buy you supplies. Just being very honest about where she is in life. So I thought it'd be a fun exercise, Joy, if you and I were to go back to school today, and if our signs were honest, what would they say? Mine would be, I had to call my husband for a pep talk today because all I wanted to do was cry on my way into work.
Nice. Mine would be 34 years tired. If you give a project to my child, I'm going to do it myself and try to beat the other moms.
I'm sorry, he's 2. Why would he need to do projects?
They are giving projects. And it would also say, if you look at me the wrong way, teacher, I will cry. It's just been one of those seasons.
One of those days. Everyone's crying.
My bless this week is actually... It has a little bit of sadness in it. Serena Williams is retiring, the queen. So literally everybody's been rooting for her in the U.S. Open. I'm not even a sports fan, but you got to love the Williams sisters. So she has won 23 major singles titles. I mean, this woman's a giant. And we know that this is probably the end of her career.
Well, she's announced her retirement.
Yeah, she's planning on being done. And as everybody's talking about what's been so amazing about her, and you could make a long list of things. The reason I have always respected Serena is because when she became a mother, she had an extremely hard journey. In fact, she almost died. There were complications. She needed multiple follow-up surgeries. And it was a really horrible experience for her. And she was honest about all of it. In a season when not a lot of women had talked about how motherhood is hard, but she talked about how when you're an athlete and your body is powerful and then suddenly you go through these things and it's not. She said, I was trying to figure out who I was, and it wasn't exactly what I anticipated it to be. And obviously she had a very extremely hard situation. But as someone who had postpartum depression myself, it's just nice when anyone that the world looks at is honest and says, I'm having a hard time and I'm not loving this motherhood journey like I thought. It just gives you permission for the feelings that you might have that are counter to what you imagined. And so I have always respected her for being that honest. And I mean, I know that she is obsessed with her child now. She talks about that she gets so excited at the thought of sharing those wins with them. But yeah, she had a tough start.
I think what I have appreciated more and more the older I get is when people are able to hold 2 opposing things in both hands. You can be thrilled to be a mother and over the moon with your family and still admit that it's really hard, or there are days where you do not connect with your child, or there are days where you question yourself. I mean, I have that paradigm in Joey's illness sometimes.
I bet.
I'm so grateful that he's here and I love him, but man, things are so hard. And that, I feel, is the most honest way to do life. I don't think that there are very many moments in life where you are 100% one thing. And I think the more we can give ourselves grace on that, and the more prominent figures who have been so wildly successful and are still trying to navigate things that, everyone does every day or whatever, can be honest about those things, it just creates more space for the rest of us to do that.
Yeah, and to know that you can hold hands with joy and grief at the same time.
Yes.
I saw a movie recently where a woman was becoming a mom and she was crying, and her mother came to her and said, there is this beautiful thing that happens, but no one talks about that when you go through a crazy life transition. Also, you and Joey have done this. You actually have to grieve what your life used to be before. And there's not always room or space for that, especially when you're having a child and it's supposed to be the best thing ever. And there's so much about it that is. But you still need to give yourself margin to go, the me that existed before this doesn't exist anymore. And sometimes there are stark, fast things that happen in life that change that. And it can be really sad, and you can find joy in the new and the everyday, but it's okay to hold those things together. And some days for me to go, I really do wish I could just go hang out with my friends and I wasn't so tired, but I have this beautiful baby boy and he's better than any of that.
My first therapist said to me that when I went to therapy right after Joey got sick, I explained something I was frustrated with. I don't remember what it was specifically, but she goes, have you heard that new Taylor Swift song? And I'm like, where are we going with this? She said the part where she goes, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. You know why? Because she's dead. And it's
that's aggressive.
It's a very dramatic moment, but she was making the point that there is a life that you are grieving. The old you is dead. And
change brings that, and it's sad.
There's beauty in it. Absolutely, there's beauty in it.
We have to grow and change.
We change and grow, exactly. But even if it was a season that you don't necessarily want to go back to, there's still room to grieve it.
And you need that space from people. And so let's celebrate, even as Serena gets to grieve that she's changing her life focus. It has been tennis. I don't know what she'll do now, but it will be successful. Thank you so much for listening. If you got something out of this episode, we would love if you would share it with a friend. To be notified every time there's a new episode, simply text the word MESS, MESS, to 91979. And if you have anything you want to share with us, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at holymess@wayfm.com. Thanks for being a part of our messy family.